Felix here. There's one stock that is probably the cleanest, purest, and best AI play out there, and you're not going to like it. But you probably own some. Most people do. And I'm going to tell you a little tale about it. OpenAI, the people behind ChatGPT, have one investor. Who's that investor, and how did they come about? And how much is it going to add to the bottom line, and how could it make you money? This is what we're here for. So stick around till the end. Now, ChatGPT or OpenAI essentially approached VCs in 2018-19 for investment. And no VC could give them what they wanted. They were all offering them money, but they didn't really need money. They needed a technology partner who'd be able to build a massive supercomputer that could actually run what Altman's founder, Elon was the other one, had in mind, and they found Microsoft. So what did Microsoft do? Well, they didn't really give them money, but they gave them about $10 billion in return for being the exclusive purveyor, the exclusive company that could sell OpenAI to Microsoft customers. And in return, Microsoft built an enormous supercomputer made out of about 10,000, or rather tens of thousands of NVIDIA chips. So NVIDIA obviously benefiting from all of this as a shovel, I totally get that. But Microsoft has made a very, very smart move here with this investment. And let me run you through some numbers. So the first Copilot tool that came out of OpenAI was called GitHub's Copilot tool. And that's now being used by about 10,000 customers. Essentially, it helps people write code. So it predicts the next lines of code as you're writing, makes it quicker. And that costs $10, by the way, a month per user. That's the cheapest level. Now, the next level is a Windows Copilot and the Office 365 Copilot. So that'll do stuff like write your emails, summarize them, run through them, complete your spreadsheets, create your PowerPoint presentations, and all these boring things that you do at work. Now, if they're just charging, we don't know what they're charging for that yet, but if they're just charging $10 a license like they are for the GitHub Copilot, then that could bring in about $48 billion of revenue to Microsoft with about 4 years. That's annual revenue, 48 billion. And the predictions is that by 2027, that could actually be $100 billion. Now, $100 billion revenue is 3 Netflixes. So you get the second largest stock listed in the US, in the world, adding potentially 3 Netflixes to its top line. And it's going to be super profitable, right? Because think about the investment, and this is why this is such a smart move. Microsoft gave OpenAI in total $13 billion, but they didn't give them $13 billion because all they did is they sent the $13 billion to OpenAI, who then sent it back to Microsoft Cloud, who builds the infrastructure as the tech partner. So actually, Microsoft's investment is actually really cheap, and the money flows back to Microsoft. So it's a pretty smart move on their part, a really, really, really smart move on their part. And I think people are underestimating just how much Microsoft is going to benefit from this. Now, why did they do this? Well, they were actually quite desperate. And they were quite desperate because Google was massively ahead of them on anything and everything AI. And Microsoft had a few things. Remember Clippy in 1995, Windows 95? It had this irritating little paper clip in the corner that would say things to you like, you are writing an email. Would you like help with that? Couldn't offer you any help. And then they came up with this this thing. What was this teenage character called that was meant to have human interactions with you on Twitter? They basically unleashed it on Twitter, and then obviously the Twitterati turned it into some sort of neo-Nazi, human-hating horror. Within about 24 hours, they had to shut that down. So they had all these projects they're spending a lot of money on, but none of them worked. And that's the problem generally for large IT companies. They can't really generate new ideas. The red tape is just too strong. And OpenAI, being outside of Microsoft, was able to do that. And they had to pitch pretty hard. They actually had to go see Bill Gates, even though he was no longer running the company. And they had to pitch him, and Bill Gates set them some tasks saying, can it pass a biology exam, and can it pass some of Bill Gates' own tests? And what he was apparently most impressed with was the kind of empathy and humanity that OpenAI showed. And that's how the first 10 billion got greenlit. Microsoft's internal teams weren't very happy about that. They never are because they see it as competition. But it's obviously worked out, and it's been the best investment ever. Think about it. If they can bring in 100 billion revenue a year by 2027 from this in subscription fees, like with probably an 80% margin, that's insane. And could very likely make Microsoft the largest stock in the world. So if you're looking for an AI play out there, don't disregard the boring, fuddy purveyor of average software, Microsoft, because they own the crown jewels. So I hope you find that helpful and interesting. If you do, then make sure you smash the like and subscribe button. And if you want to know how you can trade this and how you can make money out of this move without the 50-50 gamble of stocks, then come and join me for a webinar next Wednesday. I'm running a free trading training where I show you what I learned as a banker, how hedge funds trade, and I'll show you the full thing, my full strategy. I'm literally giving it away, and we'll also do some live trading together. And we'll do that for 1,000 people for free. So come and join me, felixfrancelog.com/webinar, and I appreciate you watching. Thanks for tuning in.